Now at 5, educators in McDonald County get a day of development ahead of the return to schools. Plus, a recovery specialist in Joplin explains why the dry January trend might not be a good thing. And
countdown to the Iowa caucuses. I'm Natalie Brand. What undecided voters have to say about the race for the GOP nomination.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Students in our area are set to return to school this week, so McDonald County schools are making sure teachers are ready. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. Teachers in McDonald County got a little extra preparation today just ahead of their students' return tomorrow. The development initiative was focused on the latest teaching methods, curriculum updates, and strategies to support the needs of their students. The training encouraged collaboration among the teachers who gave each other advice to improve the educational experience.
Teachers want to work together with their cohorts. I think you learn the most when you're talking with your colleagues and you're sharing ideas, and just that rapport you build with different teachers across the district. You know, I say we're a big district with a lot of schools. There's negatives, but there's also positives to that. We can pull a lot of information and learn from each other.
McDonald County will have another development day for their teachers in February. If you're on social media, you might have noticed the growing hashtag Dry January trend. Hashtag Dry January challenges participants to cut out alcohol for the entire month of January. Each year, more and more influencers participate in that challenge, gaining millions of views. However, Paula Donaldson at the ROCC in Joplin says sobriety is more than a trend.
For someone like me and many of the other people who come and here at the ROC, the Recovery Outreach Community Center, it's more about a matter of life and death. We can't just stay sober for a month. This is an ongoing process.
The Recovery Outreach Community Center, ROCC, in Joplin offers classes, support groups, and certified peer specialists to support sober living. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Not a bad Tuesday for us today. It was still chilly, of course, outside. High temps, most of us into the mid-40s, and we look pretty good right now. We're looking at Joplin sitting at 40. You can see some mid and upper level clouds. Dry, though, much of the same in Pittsburgh, 42 in Nevada, 38 in Monette, 44 in Miami. Chanute is sitting at 41 degrees. Now, a little breezy. I was trying to hold that in for about 20 seconds. A little breezy, southerly winds at about 10 to 15, so that's made it feel a little bit cooler than what it actually is. We are tracking this wave just to our south. That's going to give us some clouds late tonight and then into the daytime hours tomorrow as we drop back eventually into the 30s. 2 chances for snow in the next week. We'll talk about that here in a bit.
Don't you hate it when you sneeze on live TV? Missouri Governor Mike Parson today signed an executive order banning people from foreign enemies from buying land near critical military facilities. The order lists 6 nations that are deemed adversaries to the U.S.: China, Cuba, Iran, North Korea, Russia, and Venezuela. It bans them from buying agricultural land within a 10-mile radius of a military facility in Missouri. Iowa's Republican voters will gather in less than 2 weeks to caucus for their presidential candidates. Former President Donald Trump is the clear front runner, leaving the other candidates to battle for second place. Natalie Brand has more details from Washington.
Republican presidential hopefuls are crisscrossing Iowa looking for any voter who may still be undecided less than 2 weeks from caucus night.
I wish I could say exactly who I was caucusing for and exactly who I wanted, but I'm having a hell of a hard time.
Jason Dent told CBS News he's leaning toward former President Donald Trump, but also has concerns about Trump's electability.
I don't want to waste my vote and vote for him and then something happened to him. It's a tough call.
Voter Emily Lydiak, firmly against the former president, worries about a potential second term.
I don't think he would actually care about policies and helping the nation and the people of this country. I think it would just be him getting back at the people that he feels did him wrong.
The latest state polls still show Trump with a commanding lead, but the race for second place appears much tighter. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has a slight lead over former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley. Vivek Ramaswamy is a distant fourth with 7%.
It's good to see you guys.
DeSantis and Ramaswamy have poured significant campaign time and resources into Iowa, both visiting all 99 counties in the state.
I'm leaning towards Ron for presidential candidate.
Haley and Christie are focusing their efforts this week on New Hampshire, where they've garnered more support in the latest polling. The Granite State hosts the first in the nation GOP primary on January 23rd. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
DeSantis and Haley have both criticized Trump over his decision to skip next week's Republican primary debate in Des Moines, Iowa. After a year of explosive growth in the use of artificial intelligence, security experts warn the United States is facing increasing hacking threats from criminals and foreign governments in 2024, a crucial election year. On CBS Mornings, Sean Henry, a former FBI executive assistant director and now security chief at CrowdStrike, said AI has been able to overcome some online security systems, gaining access into corporate networks and spreading misinformation.
People always have to look at the source of information. You can't just look at something and accept it as true. You've got to verify where it came from. Who's telling the story? What is their motivation? And can you verify it through multiple sources?
On a positive note, he does not think AI is a major threat to voting machines, mostly because the U.S. election system is not centralized and has wide variation state to state on the way people vote. The names of people associated with late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein is expected to be released soon, with at least one former U.S. president reportedly among them. Last month, a federal judge ruled the names of Epstein's alleged victims and those connected to him must be made public. Epstein and his associate Ghislaine Maxwell have been accused of running a sex trafficking operation. Still ahead, what to expect when hitting the road this year.
2023 was another busy and pricey year in travel. So what's in store this year? I'm Wendy Gillette in Cancun, Mexico, with a few predictions.
And next in Health Watch, a float in this year's Tournament of Roses parade focuses on organ donors and recipients. Topping today's Health Watch, food insecurity among low-income adults dropped during the pandemic thanks to an expansion of benefit programs like SNAP. Survey data analyzed by researchers at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center and Harvard Medical School found food insecurity was more than 20% in 2019 and fell to 15% in 2021. Researchers from the National Institutes of Health developed a new method to predict the risk of death for people with a history of heart failure. Scoring a group of 38 unique proteins helps determine adverse outcomes, which researchers say can also help a clinician direct treatment options. At this year's Tournament of Roses parade, a special float honored organ donors and recipients. Reporter Danya Bacchus introduces us to a hip-hop artist who has benefited greatly and given back in return.
Among the bands and floats at this year's Tournament of Roses parade was hip-hop artist Freeway.
We still hustle till the sun come up.
The rapper was boosted to stardom in the early 2000s as a member of Jay-Z's Rockefeller Records. But at the parade, he was recognized for something other than his music.
When I was diagnosed with end-stage renal failure back in September 2015, instead of hiding what I was going through from the world, we immediately stood in front of it.
I miss the hood when I'm traveling.
Freeway, whose real name is Leslie Pridgeon, received a life-saving kidney transplant in 2019 after spending 4 years on dialysis. In 2020, when his son Jihad died unexpectedly, the family made the decision to pay it forward.
That moment when they came to me in the hospital and asked me and my family, will we let him be an organ donor? It meant everything to me because I know what it felt like. I was on dialysis for 4 years, so I know what it feels like to wait for a life-sustaining kidney. So it was no question.
Jihad's donation saved 4 lives. He and other organ, eye, and tissue donors were honored on the One Legacy Donate Life float with a fluorograph.
The experience was breathtaking.
While his passion is still music, Freeway says advocacy is now his purpose. Monday, he rode on the float beside his son's image with other transplant recipients, honoring the donor who saved his life and uplifting the memory of his son who saved others. Danya Bacchus, CBS News, Pasadena, California.
The One Legacy float won the Judges Award for dramatic impact. Freeway also has started the Freedom Thinkers Academy to raise awareness in music, health, and education. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, students trying to apply for federal financial aid are running into some technical issues.
Plus, we have more rain, even some snow in the forecast. We're going to look at that coming up next. Not a bad Tuesday for us today. Still chilly outside, a little bit on the breezy side, but at least partly sunny skies for us today. And that's where we sit right now. Nice shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Our daylight hours are starting to stretch out a little bit again as we head toward June. So our evenings, we're going to get a little bit more daylight as we go through. I think we gain about 30 minutes this month, which is kind of nice. 43 in Stockton, 41 in Anderson, 44 in Miami. Chanute is sitting at 41. Here's 7th. Here's Rangeline sitting at 40. Southerly winds 5 to 10 makes it feel a little bit cooler at about 35. As we go through the evening hours, we slip back through the 30s, eventually into the mid to upper 20s once again for us later on tonight, and kind of in and out of the clouds all day long for us today, but the clouds thicker to our south. We have a little wave. You can see the rain from Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, which is going to press just south of us. It may get up into north central parts of Arkansas, but it's going to stay just south of us, but we are getting in the clouds. Here's our next storm system. This will affect us Friday. This right behind it will affect us by next Monday, and they're both pretty strong storm systems heading in our direction. All right, let me walk you through time. Tonight, partly cloudy, cold, 26, 27 for an overnight low. Tomorrow we are going to have a lot of clouds, so partly to mostly cloudy skies, near 40 by noon. And then I think most of us about 45, 46 degrees. Very similar to what we have seen today. Tomorrow night, still mostly cloudy skies. As we go through the overnight hours, we drop back into lower 30s. All right, here's your day planner tomorrow. A little bit of patchy fog in the morning, 40 by noon, 45 by 4 p.m., high temp of 46 degrees. All right, let's move to that next storm system. Thursday is going to be fine, but clouds increase as we go through the day. So here's 4 p.m. on Thursday. As we get into Friday morning, look at this band of snow pushing in. Now notice the temperatures, 33, 34 degrees, so it'd have to come down at a pretty good clip to cause issues on the roadways. But light to moderate wet snow. Well, right now, still 3 days out, right now it looks like a band Friday morning, and then by Friday afternoon, we go over to scattered rain showers. So this wouldn't be a big issue on the roadways, but we may get half an inch, maybe an inch in some spots. So something we're going to watch. As we go into Friday night and Saturday, just kind of leftover random showers into the daytime hours on Saturday. So rainfall amounts with this system, not heavy, but a lot of areas, maybe upwards of 1/4 of an inch. And then when we look at snow potential, again, still 3 days out, I think most of us would kind of be in that dusting upwards to an inch, maybe a little bit heavier once you get into our western counties and heading west toward Wichita. But this is going to be something we'll focus in on as we go through the next couple days. 46 tomorrow, 47 on Thursday. Snow over the rain Friday, a few showers Saturday. Sunday looks okay. Oh, I got to take my New Year's off. It's not New Year's Eve on Sunday.
No.
And then on Monday, rain comes back in, then snow on Tuesday, and that's a bigger system. So a lot to talk about.
If you want to stay up on Sunday and get out the noisemakers and wear a funny hat, again, you're certainly free to do that, but it will not be New Year's Eve regardless.
I was asleep at 10:30 on New Year's Eve, so there you go.
Well, good for you. I actually saw the new year come in. Thanks, Doug. Coming up, I'll look at some of the predictions for travel trends in the new year. Topping today's Consumer Watch, it's 2024. In case you haven't checked, that means senior citizens will now be seeing an increase to their Social Security benefits. The Social Security Administration announced earlier this fall that recipients will receive an annual cost of living adjustment of 3.2% beginning this month. That comes out to an average of more than $50 per month. This is the third year in a row for a bump in payments as a result of inflation. Some families say they're having trouble accessing the more simplified free application for federal student aid, or FAFSA form from the U.S. Department of Education. The launch of the online document was delayed from October 1st due to the update. The Department of Education said on its website that it will, quote, have planned pauses for site maintenance and to make technical updates as needed. If you thought 2023 was a busy and expensive year for travel, well, better brace yourself. Forecasts show this year planes will be full, prices will rise slightly, and demand will remain high. Wendy Gillette reports on the trends for 2024.
The sounds and sights of travel's biggest brands, companies, and destinations took over southern France last month for the 22nd edition of the luxury travel event ILTM Cannes. The International Expo was the largest to date, with representatives from 83 countries coming together for more than 80,000 meetings, a sign of what's to come this year. The International Air Transport Association predicts 2024 will see 4.7 billion air passengers, surpassing pre-pandemic 2019. Prices are ticking up too. A global business forecast shows airline ticket prices rising from last year's $766 average to $780, and the average daily hotel rate going from $168 to $174.
Prices aren't dropping anytime soon. I think the prices they're not even staying stable. They are increasing, but the demand is there.
The luxury travel network Virtuoso forecasts popular re-emerging destinations will include Japan, Croatia, and Iceland. And the top 3 international destinations will be Italy, Greece, and France.
I think Italy will continue to be popular, with American guests in particular.
A couple months ago, another conference called Embark Immersion brought travel advisors and industry and luxury brand leaders here to Cancun, Mexico, to share ideas and strategize about the coming year. Embark Beyond CEO Jackie Zahn helped lead the event, designed to spark creativity and new partnerships. He expects to see an increase in art tourism.
Surprisingly, art is the new food. People are flocking across the globe at art festivals, finding new art galleries and investing in future artists.
Multi-generational travel is also in demand.
We'll see it on the connecting rooms, and we see it on the suites bookings. They have increased tremendously.
And industry leaders say a focus on sleep quality and wellness is one travel trend that keeps finding new fans. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
A survey by the luxury travel company Zicasso shows a couple of other trends include a rising interest in traveling during an area's low or shoulder season and new interest in off-the-beaten-path destinations and authentic experiences. A final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, how a combination of Google Maps and AI could help you run into fewer red lights and also help the planet. Then on KOAM News at 6, authorities in Noel, Missouri arrest a trespassing suspect accused of assaulting an officer. Plus, we're going to have more on the development day for McDonald County teachers. And the Missouri Southern basketball standout is named the MIAA Player of the Week. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Look at this. 2023 ended with an incredible light show from space. NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory captured these spectacular images of a strong solar flare erupting from the sun. The close-up image of the sun shows a mix of yellow, orange, brown, and black, and then a bright white flash appears on the left side of the photo. That's the solar flare. Solar flares are powerful bursts of energy which can impact radio communications, electric power grids, navigation signals, and even pose a risk to spacecraft and astronauts, although in this case it did not. But that was not the sun celebrating New Year's Eve. One more trip of the Earth.
There you go.
Around it. No. But it happened on New Year's Eve.
Yes, it did.
The weather is not a bad start to a new year.
No, it's going to be kind of cold for us tonight as we drop back into the 20s. 46 tomorrow, very similar to what we saw today. Rain and snow chances moving in on Friday and then again early next week.
Thanks, Doug, and thank you for joining us. CBS Evening News is next, and of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.